Making Your Life into a Military Operation, a short story about military preparedness and how you can integrate that into your life. I watched a YouTube short where a guy was talking about how if you approach life from a warrior point of view,
but your warrior mindset is hurting you.
basically how I interpreted what he was saying is that you will have a difficult time detaching yourself from that warrior mindset when it comes to situations that require a more gentle approach. Maybe the soft approach is more appropriate in certain situations. The warrior approach isn't necessary when it comes to burping an infant, so to say. But when it comes to the discipline I impose on myself, I try to attack the situation like a warrior. That doesn't mean getting aggressive, whipping out explosives and blowing up the bathroom and cleaning the toilet, rigorously washing the dishes by beating them into submission. Come on, let's use common sense. Basically, military training, when it comes to 90% of it, is preparation. 90% of military operations, preparation. Let's take, for example, me doing track days, like you see on my other YouTube channel, Footage Factory. I do my best to attack the track days as if I'm a Navy SEAL. The warrior in the garden doesn't use his samurai sword to fight the roses. The Navy SEAL doesn't throw grenades when preparing or cleaning his equipment. When I'm loading my track day trailer, this is me participating in a military exercise. I'm preparing for war. I'm constantly evaluating my gear, and my gear is constantly breaking down. For example, my tire warmers. I have these tire warmers, which I have a nasty habit of not securing them, letting them float around. And here, prime example, put them in the toolbox. Get them ready for the next track day. Do this on the previous track day. I'm great at organizing everything before the track day, but once the track day, the event is over with, I just chuck it, throw it back into the trailer. Just as I'm inspecting my gear and it's breaking down, I'm looking at these dual temp tire warmers so that when it's cold outside, I can get it hot, or when it's really warm outside, I can just have it at the medium level. Now, my wife is in a similar situation to me. We debrief almost every day about her situation because she does horse events. I do motorcycle track day events, but at the end of the day, our preparation is very similar. Here's a candid conversation about that. See you trying on the helmet. And this is actually how I looked at the entire weekend. So what I did is right as I was driving, the first day, I don't have my main equipment. I got my Ducati and I got my rain bike. Okay. So basically, this is me going to war, and we're gonna see how well I do. Yeah. And the first day was a big fuck up, but I didn't fail. I started doing good, so I got a few lap times, but I was doing 58s. But I wanted to get into 56s, and if I would have gotten to 56s, I would have given myself an A, because towards the end, I want to give myself a grade before I go home. Right. I would have given myself an A if I would have took the R1 and started timing that. Right. But I couldn't. So first day was almost a fail, but it wasn't a fail because I was able to bring my Plan B bike out. Yeah. Second day, I was reset. Yeah. It was also almost a fail because my equipment failed. Yeah. But I was able to bring the Plan B bike out and finish off the day. So I was able to look back and give myself a C for the day. Yeah. Passing grade. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, here I am looking at you, and you are getting your equipment squared away for war. Yeah, but I have to buy my equipment from... I can't buy any of this stuff here in the UK. I have to buy... Like, this is beautiful, look at it. It's so nice for shows. But I have to buy this from Holland. Like, it had to come from Holland. Like, these are not... I am probably the only person in the UK that has this hat. They're not in the UK. I saw it on an American person site, and I'm like, I want that hat. And I had to hunt for it. I could get it in Italy, wherever, and I got mine from Holland. I show up with all exotic shit. I hate to use that word, but you're prepping for war. You are preparing for war, and you can still keep using your shit, right? Yeah. You can still keep using your obsolete equipment. It's not obsolete. Well, no, I shouldn't say obsolete, but it's like, I have two Sam Shields, and Sam Shield is the best. Like, I love Sam Shield stuff, but their hats just, they don't fit. Like, no hat, because the hats are modernized now. Like, all old hats used to fit me. I was a 6 7/8 on old money. They don't even have that sizing anymore. And my hat that I've had for 15 years fits me like a glove. Any new hat I put on, I'm always pulling at it, like pulling it down. They feel like they're just sitting on my head. And I'm like, if I ever fall, I actually don't feel like it's going to protect my head. I feel like it's just going to fall off, because everything's just perched so high on my head. And they're all like, oh, it's your hair. And I'm like, it's not my fucking hair. My hair is down here. Don't you feel like right now you are inventorying your parts for war?
for sure.
Like your helmet, and now you're like, holy shit, this works, so I got to get a black one.
Yeah.
Where the other ones are not. I don't want to say they're obsolete. They're not proper.
Do you want to try my Sam Shield on and compare it to this one?
Oh, I think it would just not cradle your head.
It doesn't. It feels like it feels like you've got a plastic bowl on top of your head. I don't feel there's padding here.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, as you're looking at this, as you're looking at, when's your next horse day?
Sunday.
Sunday? Are you bringing this helmet to Sunday?
Yeah.
So here you are preparing for Sunday. It's still determined if Sunday is an actual war day or if it's a prep day, because you're still getting the points because you have a goal in mind, which is what? What's the big deal?
I have to get enough points. I need it by the end of next week.
Why?
Because then I qualify for the semi-final.
That's war. That's war.
Well, I feel like I'm at war now.
I actually think you're more preparing for war. You're preparing for war. You're preparing for. That's the actual war. That's war.
I don't know if I'm going to the war.
Well, I mean, you might die beforehand. So I guess maybe you can look at this as war. So, but here you are preparing yourself. So now you will be a little more comfortable, so you can think a little better as you because as you're doing this, Harley feels this. You're not jumping right. You lose. Whatever.
I'm just loving the fact that I can put my head back and it doesn't fall over my fucking eyes.
Yeah. So basically, in this video, the wife and I are talking about acquiring new exotic gear, which is an exciting part about the operation. The less sexy conversation that we need to talk about is cleaning, organizing, getting stuff in its place. When I first watched the video, I might have disagreed with them. Now, taking a look one more time, I might agree with them. He's saying, does every situation require you to show up as a warrior?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but your warrior mindset is hurting you. Now, obviously, there's benefits to being a warrior, and maybe you overcome some challenges in the past by being a warrior. What I'm talking about is the inability to turn it off. The problem with having this one-dimensional default mode of a mindset is that everywhere you go, all you'll see are battles. Slow down and reflect. Ask yourself this question: do I really need to show up as a warrior in this situation?
Now, watching this next video, these Navy SEALs in training. As a Navy SEAL in training, you probably think to yourself, you need to show up as a warrior. But in this evolution of cleaning your room, you need to show up something more like a janitor to pass this evolution.
Over the river and through the woods to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving. Maybe the fairy will show up and clean my room.
Is this a hit? If you have more perfume than a woman, if we have a room that's outstanding and the deck is good and it's a good room, they're gonna pass. This isn't a rigged evolution.
What are you up to? 3 hits. What are they? Dirt, dusty mirrors, dirt on.
Get it done.
Dirt on the windows in the bathroom, dirty deck. Woo! I might let that go. Dirty tub. What's this goo on your knife, Chera? How's it sharpening up?
Lock your room up. Lock your valuables.
So I by no means am an expert in this organization department, but I strive to be better organized, clean. I was having a conversation with someone earlier in the pits, and they were talking about going to a mechanic, and when they see the shop look like a Formula One setting, they really trust the person. Now, I'm not saying that I care about how people perceive me. I really don't. I could give a rat's ass. But you know what? I care how I perceive myself. So as we explore this idea moving into the future, here's a video of my toolbox toppled over in the back of my trailer because I didn't secure it good enough when I was dropping off my bike. But you know what? This is a great example for me to secure my stuff better, clean my stuff better, organize it better, and explore this topic moving into the future, because as I put more effort into it, things have come a hell of a lot easier, and they've actually, my life has become that much better. So subscribe and let's keep exploring this.